Hi, it's Allison. Welcome to Allison Appreciates. Let's talk about our imaginations and the power that they hold and why it is so much better to live in your imagination than in the 3D, and how to make that easier, because I know that sometimes the 3D we get caught up. We want other people to see that we can be or have anything we want. We want to show off. We want to have what we want to have. We want to touch it. We want to taste it. We want to smell it. We want to feel it. Our senses are so, like, we have such a strong affinity for them, because then you know you have it, right? Because you have the evidence, right? But before you know you have it, if you give it to yourself consistently, when you get it, it just becomes like, of course, it becomes a very natural thing. Whereas sometimes I think if we don't apply ourselves with this work and we get our manifestation, we're super excited, we're super happy. It can be very transitory, right? It can be a very fleeting feeling, because the longest part of any manifestation is the journey to it. So you may as well make that fun. That's something Abraham Hicks says. Might as well have a happy journey. You can't have a happy journey to an unhappy ending. An unhappy journey to a happy ending. Sorry, mix that up. So, we want to try to make the journey towards it feel just as good as having it. Because as soon as you have it, you will launch new rockets of desire for improvements about that thing or about something else, right? We're always going to want more. That is the nature of our nature, right? Our expanding nature. We have a growth mindset. We're going to want more. We're going to want refinement. We're going to want fine-tuning. We're going to want to address certain tiny particulars inside this thing that we want, once we even have it, because we're never done. Creation is never finished. I mean, from the God within, creation is finished, right? But we're the humans, so it's never finished to us, because we're always going to want to refine it. Every time we experience a negative emotion, every time we have a negative experience, we don't even have to ask. We've launched a rocket. We have launched a rocket in the immediacy of experiencing that negative emotion or experiencing that negative experience. Doesn't matter. So, this is tough for me too, but again, we can reframe everything, so it gets easier and easier to do the more that I do it, right? Let's reframe everything so it serves us. It gets easier and easier to make my imagination the end all be all and not let the 3D matter at all. The 3D is just that outer reflection of the mirror. The 3D is just old assumptions coming to bear. That's all it is. And they're changing all the time. They are changing all the time. If you watched 2 videos ago, I talked about my stepdad and the little fight we had about him saying something about my personality, right? And within 15 minutes, it was like it never happened, because of what I did, because I did some positive aspects, which is something I can talk about as well. That's an Abraham Hicks thing. But with those positive aspects, I was revising, right? I was not allowing that to be the end result of our relationship, because he's someone I care about a lot and I look up to him and we have a good relationship. So why would I let one moment dictate, why would I let one moment dictate, that to be our relationship? No, we're not doing that. We are not doing that here. So, our imagination. Well, I always go back to the kingdom of heaven is within, and it is our God, it is our Father's good pleasure to give it to us from the Bible, because, just give it to yourself. Just imagine it any way you can when you feel like you don't have it. And the practice of that will make having it feel natural, will make having it feel normal. One of the most important chapters in The Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard is the chapter on failure. And I didn't want to hear it at first. I was like, no, I'm like super positive. I'm focused on the good stuff. But in that chapter is all about making it natural. Or when you fail in something, a really important matter, you probably didn't achieve making it feel natural. You probably weren't the guardian of your thoughts. You probably didn't catch spirals. You probably weren't aware of them, because it's the power of awareness. So we have to cultivate that awareness before it can be powerful, before we can be powerful in it. So there's another great thing that Neville, it's not in that book. Maybe it is. I can't remember where it is. I'll try and find it and come back to you on that. But there is at least a Neville lecture, because I'm sure I've heard his voice say the words. So he says, if you're in your imagination and imagine yourself, you're in jail, you're locked up. But while you're in jail and locked up, you close your eyes and you feel as if you are running, then you are no longer locked up. So we can apply that to everything. You're not with your SP. Yes, you are. The 3D doesn't mean anything. That's just that old story that kept playing out for a little bit. It's just old news. We don't have to give it any more power. We really don't. Because did giving it power work before? No, because it just kept more of the same thing happening, right? So we want to cultivate what we do want. And that's why our imagination is so fertile. That's why, and maybe you have aphasia and you can't see it in pictures, but you can practice hearing it. And even if you have to practice hearing it, you can start small by practicing just hear them say a simple I love you. Let's say when we're going with SP work, right? You can practice, maybe you get a phone call from the bank. You can practice it being a congratulatory phone call instead of one that's detrimental, okay? So we start small, but we turn to it as often as we need to stay in the state, to feel better, to focus on what we want. It's all about where our focus goes. It's all about where our attention is. Where your attention is will grow when left unchecked. That is why it is so easy, once you start feeling bad, to feel worse. But the opposite is just as true. So what we want to do is we want to catch those first few thoughts that are off, that are not aligned with what we want, and then flip them, and then flip them, and then flip them, and or use our imaginations in that moment. Put your hand on your heart, close your eyes. It just takes 30 seconds to go to a wonderful scene. You're sitting with your SP, you're holding hands. You can feel their hand. And if that is hard for you, there is a great Neville technique of, okay, imagine a piece of silk. Feel the lightness, so feel the weight of it, feel the texture of it, feel the wispiness of it. Okay, imagine a tennis ball. Okay, feel the weight of that. That's heavier than the silk. That's fuzzier, right? That's got a different shape. Feel a ping pong ball. Okay, so that's lighter than the tennis ball and smaller and smoother. Okay, I can kind of get my head around that. Feel rose petals. Feel a rose and the petals, and feel the thorns. Don't get hurt. Don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt yourself in your imagination. But feel those thorns on the stem. Feel the soft petals. Smell that rose. And now, hold your SP's hand. And now cuddle up with your SP on the couch and feel your body lay next to theirs. Feel the length of your body next to their body and feel the warmth that is there. You can do it. It just takes a little practice. So do this every day. Go to that place in your imagination where you have everything you want every day for any topic. And the more often you do it, the easier it becomes a default. We want to make these things defaults. We want to make them easy to access because we're making things natural here. That's what we're doing. Neville is all about making it natural, making the wish-fulfilled state feel natural. Well, we do that by doing this stuff often. Okay. So one last thing about your imagination. It was given to us because that is where God is attempting to become alive within the consciousness of this human body, right? And I'm speaking about yours as well. So, with that being said, it is the most important place. It is where all of this started. Thoughts become things. So let's think better thoughts more consistently. Let's persist in better thoughts more consistently. Okay? And remember that your imagination is the gift from God. Your gifts are mind and speech. So mind is your imagination, and speech is saying the words. So we don't want to let words come out. This is, probably another video, but we don't want to let words come out that aren't our desire. Not anymore. That won't do for us because we're living in the end. So if you're living in the end, you're not arguing with your SP in your head. If you're living in the end, you're not complaining about something they did last week. No, because we're going forward. We're creating what we want. We are not beating the dead horse of what we don't want. Not anymore. It won't do for you. You've come too far, and I won't allow it. So, yeah, let's wrap this up. But very important, something to think about every day. Your imagination and how grateful you can be to have it, and how you can have whatever you want in there, no matter what is happening outside, because it's the more important place. It's the most important place. So thank you for watching this whole video. Thank you for being a subscriber. Tell your friends if you like this content. We're going to grow something fun here. I can feel it. I'm already seeing in my imagination a bunch of subscribers and having some fun with you all. I'm already seeing what I want to come from this space. And I know that we're going to help people together and we're going to have some fun. So thank you so much, and appreciate you watching the whole video. I'm going to try to keep them around the 10-minute mark. I realize I have gone over, but I'm generally going to try to keep myself around the 10-minute mark. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to try. I am chatty, but I'm going to try to lock it down. Keep them short, because people got stuff to do. You got an amazing imagination to fill up with amazing stuff. So thanks again. Appreciate all of you so much, and appreciate Neville, and appreciate Joseph Murphy and all of the wonderful teachers. And let's just keep having fun along our journey, shall we? Thank you.